Hello, this is Parkeerwacht with a MikuMikuDance tutorial on the ExcellentShadow2 effect. Now, what this effect does, it smooths out the self shadows that are created by MMD on the models. Now, usually these look very pixelated and in my opinion, very ugly. So what we will do is we will load up a model. This model is Nitori Kawashiro from Key. It's a very good model where it comes to this problem, or with self shadows. If I will actually do a black background so you can see it a little bit better. But here, this is what I mean. This is the self shadows being rendered normally. Now these are very pixelated and very ugly, as I said. So what the effect does, it smoothens these out and makes them look pretty. But before we get into the effect, there are some things you need to have. You need to have MME MikuMiku effects installed, or MME effects. You can download this from the LearnMMD website, which I will link in the description below. And by the way, I also wrote an article on that site about this effect, which should be up simultaneously with this video, or at least maybe a little bit time difference, but it should be up almost at the same time. And there, I will leave a link where you can get it, where MME. And you need, well, a computer, a very powerful computer. You need a graphics card that at least has 1 GB of video memory, and at least shader model 3.0. So it needs to support shader model 3.0, or it won't work, or at least it may work, but it may work very glitchy. I have a very high-end graphics card. I've got an R9 280X in here, so it supports shader model 3.0, and it has 3 GB of VRAM, so it's not a problem. I think right now what's the FPS I'm actually on, so I just said no limit. Okay, 500 to 300 to 600 FPS, so yeah. But I really recommend a strong computer, or at least a high-end graphics card, because this effect impacts your FPS a lot. So what I recommend doing is you finish your animation first completely, and load this effect after you're done with your animation, so you are not lagging out while you're animating inside MMD. So you also did I miss anything? Let me look up on my notes real quick. No, I don't. Nope, I didn't. So where you can download this effect is on Minced OneDrive from the creator. You download this file, ExcellentShadow2. You just click it and it should download to your computer. Now when you open this archive, there's this file inside. What you do is you go to your MMD folder, which I have right here. You go to user file, accessory, you create a folder where you store effects. I don't know why this folder is there, but again, you create a folder where you will store all your effects, or if you already have that folder, use that one. I just called MME but you can choose whatever you like. And then I have ExcellentShadow2. What I did is I dragged this file. I just dragged it in here, and then it should be like this. And this is what all the files will be. Ignore this source file. This is for me, so I know where I got it. So I do that for everything I download. I keep track of my sources and can credit the proper people. But sometimes I actually lose those files, or just forget to make them and don't know what author it was. So then I have to look up the entire model again. But anyway, there's also an Shadow SSAO folder in here. I will explain later what that is. But what we'll do is I will load the effect now. You go to your accessory manipulation panel right here. You click on load and open up the ExcellentShadow.exe file. Now the effect, just let it load a bit, but now it didn't work, or at least it looks like it didn't work. But trust me, it is loaded, but you need to basically tell the effect which models it should apply on, or at least you need to load a shader onto your model. This means you can't use any other shader on your model. So if you want to use the adult shader, or want to use the Toon shader effect, which I also used in some of my videos, and also use the adult shader in my Echo video. I think also, no, it didn't use it in the Secret Police one. There I used the Toon shader effect, I think. But you can do that. There is a way, a small workaround for this. But this is a bit weird. You can load up multiple effects. There's also a tutorial on LearnMMD for that. I will also link that into the description. But yeah, there's also a way which is explained in the Japanese README file, but again, I can't read Japanese, so there's some way you can merge the two effects by editing the effect files. So by editing the effect, you can merge them. Now, I don't know how to do this. It is explained very vaguely in the Japanese README after I translated it on Google Translate, and I don't know anyone who can speak Japanese natively, so that I can't get help for that. So there are some effects that do have support built in for ExcellentShadow, but those are very rare, and I only seen one of them, which is the greener shader effect. It has support for ExcellentShadow built in, so it will also load this effect. If you want to use the greener shader effect, you can use this effect too. But let's load the the shader file. What you do is you go to your MME effect option here. You go to effect mapping, and then you look up your model if you have multiple models. Now I only have one model loaded, so it only shows this and the ExcellentShadow file. But what it shows is your PMD or PMX file. Now this is a PMD file, so just you double click it, or you select it and then set effect. It's the same thing. I usually double click because it's easier. Then you go to it will open up your user file directory. Then you go to accessory MME, just where you have your files. Then you open up full_es.fx. So you open that, and then it will load. Now, if you use a PMX model, you must load this file, full_es_pmx.fx. There are some glitches. Some PMX models may glitch with the normal effects file, so the PMX it's more like a patch, or like it removes some incompatibilities with the normal one. So you click apply and then you hit OK. So now you have the effect loaded. You can already see that this is smoothened out. Now you can change its settings with the SI and TR values. Now the SI can be anything between -100 and 100. So I'll just set it at 100. And I will usually press enter so it applies, and then it will make that sound. But again, then it will be very smooth, and with -100 it will be the least smooth. So it is almost like it is without the effect. So just put it back at 1. The TR value will change the darkness of the shadows. Now you can do anything within 0 and 1. So let's do 0.1. Oh, then it will be very dark. And if we do 1, it will just look like normal. Now you could do like 100 and say 0.2. It will look like that. So you can make some variations with this. You just try and see what works for you. It's the same thing when you try and load multiple effects, like I described a bit before. to like as a workaround for that you need to load that, because you basically can do subtract extract here and you can see the different parts of the model and load multiple effect files. But every model this is different, and everything's different, and for every like setting is I think even different. In my experiences that has been like that. Also for the assign TR values, just experiments and see what works. And yeah, I think let's looking at my notes again. If I've missed anything up till now. Oh yes, the ExcellentShadow SSAO. That folder which I showed earlier. This file will add SSAO sampling to your shadows. So if you use the SV SSAO effect, this looks very good in combination with it. So what you do if you want to load that, you just load it, open up the folder, and you load it besides the normal thing. You can see the shadow changed a bit, but this is because SSAO has been loaded. And if we load the SV SSAO effect, which I'll have here, and it apparently changes the background back to white, but you can see that it this adds SSAO sampling to all the other models. It still says black background here. I think that's a bug in the model. Well, a bug in the effect. Oh well. So yeah, this is what that does. I should delete this real quick, and then it will change the camera back. But yeah, I think that's about it for this effect. So if you have any comments or questions about this tutorial, please leave them in the description. I'll be sure to read them. And if you like the video, of course, leave a like and maybe subscribe to my channel and may do more tutorials like this in the future. But at least I will do more MMD animations in the future. I'm pretty new to MMD. Well, I'm doing this since July, if I'm correct, or June. No, I think it was July when I started really using MMD, or was it June? I think the first video I posted was in July. Let me look it up real quick on my other screen. My channel. Looking at my 4 months ago, which was yeah, July, end of July. So I think I started like the beginning of July, but I started to upload the first video a bit later than that. And yeah, I want to give a quick shout out to the people over at LearnMMD, especially Reggie Denmore, for letting me into the team. It's been very I've learned a lot from their site. And actually, everything I do right now in MMD is just my own experience and them. Because I discovered this site, and there are like tons of tutorials. So I just check their site out. It's again in the description, and also the link to my article, which will be in the description after it's posted, because it's still in the draft section. So yeah, that's about it. I hope you like the video, and I'll probably see you guys next time when I do a tutorial or another MMD animation. So goodbye.